This facility has 4 stories. Each story is 750,000 square feet, meaning total it's 3 million square feet for employees to work in. And it's equipped for 1,800 employees. Chief tells me earlier today that this is just another senseless act of violence and they are not going to be overlooking it. Data tells us that other than just the time of year, that crude oil prices are the reason for the spike. Ricky Archie on Corinth Street noticed a leak in front of one of his properties. He took it upon himself to dig up the area around it. This is what he found. The last time I reported on Corinth Street, it was about a landlord named Ricky Archie who was working hard to fill in a hole that he'd said was the city of Jackson's problem. This time I'm talking about how that same landlord was shot and killed. Right here is where the mobile home originally stood when it was intact before last night's storms and winds knocked it over about 100 feet. An 18-wheeler flipped over just a couple of hours ago at about 1 o'clock, and I'm going to step out of the way so you can kind of see what's going on behind me. A truck driver with J.D. Mills Trucking LLC was on his way home. He was knee-deep into his waders, kind of like how I am now. And I'm not even standing in the deepest part. Heavy rain on the side of Highway 80 in Vicksburg ended up causing the shoulder on this road to wash out apples and pumpkins and much more. There's only one time a snake will bother you, and that's if you bother a snake. Some of the demands that the ABB plant workers are making are big. Some of them are small. Whenever we ask a Jackson official about crime, they tell us one of the keys to success is investing more in the police department. This time we took a different avenue and reached out to Moms Demand Action. It's a volunteer organization that works to advocate for common sense gun legislation across the country. Here in Mississippi, Courtney Wieland leads the way. She says that the city's answer is not incorrect, but it is incomplete, and that investing in JPD is not the only answer. She says one of the best places to start is in schools.
Getting social services into schools would be a better approach. We need more mental health professionals within school walls.
And there are even simpler fixes within schools as well, like offering more after-school programs.
A busy kid is someone who is not going to have the same opportunity to kind of get into the kind of troubled areas that you might conceive.
These two solutions are proactive as opposed to being reactive. Solutions that may have prevented shootings like the one that ended 25-year-old Commandre Mason Shelby's life in 2017.
It was the most horrific notice call that I've ever received in my life.
His mother, Tangela Shelby, turned to Moms Demand Action for comfort and to join the fight. She agrees that the first step starts in schools and adds that the last step is proper accountability. She says Commandre's killer walks the streets freely after spending only about 6 months in jail.
It was $1 million bond. Then it was decreased to $50,000, unknown to me. So he paid a mere $5,000 to be out for what he did to my son.
Shelby wants to make something abundantly clear. Moms Demand Action does not want to take anyone's guns away.
We're just asking for the different, legislators, people who are in the positions to enforce stricter gun laws to do that.
She adds that investing in community centers and part-time jobs for teenagers will keep them busy and out of trouble. Moms Demand Action tries to treat violence like it's a disease.
If it affects one person within the community, it's going to possibly spread. And so you need to identify it where it is, isolate it, and then provide education on it so you can change the culture.
Wieland says other cities that have used this model have had a major success rate in reducing crime, and that Jackson is perfectly capable of doing it too. Anderson's son was killed by another inmate at MSP in November, and she says that the facility staff has given them almost no information about the incident.
He was stabbed 9 times. That's the only thing the coroner was allowed to tell.
An argument over a cell phone at Mississippi State Penitentiary led to the death of 26-year-old Michael Anderson.
I miss him a lot.
Michael was about halfway finished serving his 10-year sentence for an armed robbery when the incident happened on November 19th.
He always kept a smile on his face.
Michael's mother, Jessica, says every time she or Michael's father tries to contact the prison, they transfer them to the chaplain, who won't go into detail.
The only thing he tells me is that he died around 1:30, and he can't discuss nothing more.
Jessica questions their supervision and staffing, wondering if they were unable to prevent an inmate from bringing a cell phone onto the facility. How can they be trusted with the inmates' lives?
I don't think it's enough guards or whatever's going on in there. It's not right. Something there is not right.
The Andersons say that what they want to come of this situation is simple.
I want justice.
I want answers.
And I just really want to know what happened to him.
Tomasa, Michael's sister, says that Michael had been in the process of getting his GED, taking anger management classes, and attending church regularly as a form of rehabilitation.
He's been trying to better himself.
In addition, the Andersons say that Michael was transferred several times without cause from Holmes County to Marshall County to Carroll County, which are all minimum security facilities, to MSP, a maximum security prison. I left a voicemail for the MSP communications department, and so far I have not heard back. We've seen record-breaking election numbers over the last few weeks.
About 250,000 Mississippians requested absentee ballots. You compare that to 2016, and that number was 110,000, so we more than doubled that.
Which is a good thing, but it came at a price for some folks who had to block a big chunk out of their day to vote.
2 hours and 15 minutes later.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
This made it easy for voters to get discouraged and lose their patience while waiting. Enter the Abel family from Madison.
Anybody need a snack?
As part of Poor People's Campaign, Mary Helen Abel and her kids visited different polling locations across the metro. They handed out goodies to people in line.
Muffins, bananas, oranges, chips, and water.
Their goal was to boost morale and keep people motivated to stay in line, no matter how long the wait.
Not make them suffer while they are voting.
It was a new experience for them, and they didn't know what to expect, but they say it went well.
This is the first time I was happy to do it.
Abel says this was not about getting any one group of people to show up. It was much bigger than that.
We want to make sure that everybody has what they need and are equipped to be able to be part of our democracy.
One of the locations that the Abels visited was the Mark Apartments in Ridgeland. The children say they were so happy to be able to help their mom.
We want them to stay in line, and we don't want them to leave.
Abel says the children's enthusiasm helped everybody, including themselves, get through the day.
We like to help people, yeah. Our family's superpower is super love.
A local family doing what they can to make a difference during a historic election. In Ridgeland, Kate Cornell, 12 News.